What's up, guys? This is Brianna Moore, your host of the Conversations on Earth podcast, where y'all come for me, but you stay for the guests. Today, y'all already know, we have Miss Yasmine, the dynamic entrepreneur behind Stvrs Kicks. It's spelled STVRS though, and we go get into that.
Right.
Stvrs Kicks, because I thought that was interesting. But this is Richmond's go-to destination for rare sneakers and streetwear. What started as a passion for sneaker culture has evolved into a thriving business that not only provides exclusive kicks, but also fosters a community of sneaker enthusiasts. Yasmine and Tariq, which he's not here, but we will talk a little bit about him as well,
right,
is defining what it means to hustle in the sneaker game, blending fashion, culture, and a relentless drive to put Richmond on the map.
Oh, period.
Okay? So whether you searching for the latest drops or a one-of-a-kind find, Yasmine and Tariq got you covered at Stvrs Kicks, one step at a time. So, introducing Miss Yasmine. How are you?
What's up, y'all? I'm doing great. How
Thank
are
you so much for being here. I'm good.
Thanks
I'm
for
good.
having me.
Listen, you did a lot of accommodating with us because we had one day, then we changed it, then we changed the time, and I think we scheduled you on Mother's Day, and then you were like, "Wait a minute, this month." So we done struggled a little bit to get you here,
but
you
on
have
the right
been.
path.
Let me tell you something. You have been so flexible and so gracious with your time. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you for even having me. I'm excited. As I was telling you earlier, this is my first podcast ever being interviewed on. So
yeah,
I'm just so grateful. You know what I mean? To even be here.
Look, I absolutely appreciate you from the Richmond community and from all the hype beasts. Definitely appreciate you. So how you doing today? I feel like that's a very broad question, but it can be a little intimate too.
Right.
Like, I just want to know how you doing. How's your heart? What's going on? How you feeling?
No, I'm doing great. You know, it's the start of the week. We have a lot going on at the store this upcoming week. You know, like bulks coming into the store, unreleased pairs that we're going to be getting, planning for like future sneaker events that we're going to be going to. So it's definitely a really exciting week for us, for sure. How about you?
How am I?
Yeah. How's your heart?
Wow. Thank you for asking. Yeah. Not a lot of people ask that question, but one of my best friends in the world and her daughter, who is my godbaby, graduated.
Oh, congrats.
So we went to her graduation. Thank you. Went to her graduation party yesterday, and it was very emotional. It was fun because it was Mother's Day, and shout out to Lala. She don't do much for herself. Like, she's very much so a family person, family advocate, and she's now a social worker with her bachelor's from VCU, graduated magna cum laude. So like, it was just to see her progression from actually, you know, doing stuff for family to actually doing stuff for herself was like it was an emotional day.
That's exciting,
but it was a good day.
A good day. A lot of graduations this weekend, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like all over my social media. It was like Mother's Day, graduation. I was like, wow, there's a lot of graduates.
Exactly. So let's get into a little bit of questions, because for one, I can't wait to talk to you about this negotiation that you be doing.
My negotiation?
Man, no negotiations be fire. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't really know how to do. But before we get into that, favorite sneaker of all time?
My favorite?
Is it the Mocha?
It's not the Mocha.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm an OG. I like OGs a lot, so it would have to fall under one of the OGs. For me, personally, I love Bread 4s.
Okay.
I always got to keep a Bread 4 in the collection. Yup. Originally, it was the Chicago ones, and once I got my first pair of Bread 4s, I was like, it's over. Yup. Okay. If I could just like wear Bread 4s every day, that red black combo with the suede, the 2019 pair for sure. Yeah, with the suede on it.
Ooh,
that's my go-to for sure. Okay,
what's a sneaker drop you'll never forget?
A sneaker drop I will never forget. Okay, it's a weird one, but the Tope Haze 4s.
Okay.
For me personally, for me and Tariq actually, I remember back in the day, we have like a YouTube channel, and we're getting back on YouTube and stuff, but before we had the store, the Tope Haze 4s, when they dropped, we used to do crazy footwork for this release. And I remember this was like back during COVID. We drove down to the 757. They did in-person raffles for DTLR. So I remember like on a Tuesday, we went and we stopped at every single DTLR in the 757. Did in-person raffles for all of them. And on Wednesday, we came back to Richmond, did the same thing at all the DTLRs. And then they did callbacks. And I did all the online raffles. So that I remember for the Tobes 4s, retail is like 200. We were flipping them that same day for like 400. Like day of, like, so it was like, $200 profit per shoe. Ooh. So every single shoe mattered, you know what I mean? And so we were getting callbacks crazy. So the day that they dropped, we woke up at like 7 a.m., drove down to the beach, started picking up pairs. We were picking up pairs all day. I think we picked up like 50 pairs or something like that, touched 50 pairs that day, and then sold at least 40 of them because it was such a hype release. It was during that time, during COVID, where people had so much money and they didn't really know what to do with the money, and they were like shoes, you know what I mean? And so definitely that, I just remember that release. There was so much footwork that came from that, and then the result was.
And did you guys have the store?
We did not have the store yet. This was before the store.
So where y'all was selling them at? Like just
out the trunk of our car.
What?
On Instagram. We had an Instagram. We probably had like 2,000 followers at the time. So we were selling on there, and then like Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. Back then they had Let Go. Yeah, I used to be the Let Go queen. I used to go crazy on Let Go. I used to find all the Yeezys for the low, but then OfferUp acquired Let Go and stuff. I was like,
man.
Yeah.
And one thing I know, like, sometimes I gotta go to like StockX or what's the other one?
Like Goat?
Yeah. Because the shoes be gone out the store. So I know people used to like sit out in tents overnight to wait for shoes, right? Is that still a thing now? Like when stores really, I don't feel like that's talked about a lot. But I feel like if you do want a good shoe, or the shoe that you've been looking for, or the shoe that you've been wanting for like forever, you can just go to a reseller and get it.
You could.
You could.
Because there's, I feel like the saturation of sneaker stores around the country is definitely at a high right now. I feel like during the pandemic, everyone wanted to sell sneakers. You know what I mean? Because people had all this money. The sneaker market was really up. So everyone wanted to get in on the action. And after COVID, the sneaker market kind of plummeted. And so only people that like were real sneakerheads that knew what was hot, what was not. They knew basically what to buy, at what price to buy it at. Sometimes buying sneakers at retail isn't feasible because market is below retail. So finding those sneakers below retail is like so important. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's so much that like goes into it.
Well, and my thing is, I don't like spending money on stuff that don't make me money. So if I'm gonna buy some shoes, like when the Lightning Force came out, I said, all right, I'll buy those. Because I know if I wear them a couple times, I could just resell them. Or if I buy some Yeezys or something like that, those shoes have a higher resale value. So I do see my shoes as investments. Now, but I'm going to say, coming from the people in the community, sometimes it be expensive to get to because the price be marked up. However, I understand why y'all have to be so expensive because y'all don't have a lot of supply.
Right.
So it's like the demand is high, supply is low. What you go do to separate the haves from the have-nots, or the people who want it versus the people who can't get it? Like you got to kind of inflate the price.
Exactly.
So I get that. But how do you decide how to inflate the price? Like how do you look at it? Is it market trends, or how do you come to that?
It's a combination of a lot of different things.
Okay.
It is all based on supply and demand.
Gotcha.
Personally. So when a sneaker drops in the city, I also have to look at, what other shoe stores are posting it at. If other shoe stores in the area are posting a shoe at $250, let's say, and I was going to post it for $300, everyone's just going to go there. So you have to, even if the market is at $300, if somebody's undercutting the market in this area, then I have to undercut it as well. Just to, be on the same playing field. But I also think about, like, let's say the Metallic 5s, those just dropped a couple months ago. So that release was really crazy. Like, I already knew it was going to be a crazy release because it was an OG and everything like that. But when they dropped, I remember being out and about picking up pairs and stuff like that and just thinking there are not a lot of pairs in Richmond, like in the market. Like if you go to the Foot Locker, you go to the DTLRs, the JDs, each store basically had maybe a size run or half a size run.
Yeah.
So people were willing to pay more for them because when they wanted them right then and there. They wanted it day of release. And two, it's like they're not going to be able to get it anywhere else.
Yeah.
So with that, then you can hike the price up a little bit.
I got you.
As opposed to like another release that happened, like what happened right after that? There's other releases that basically they'll just have so many shoes in DTLRs, in Foot Lockers and stuff that they'll just be sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense to hike up the price.
I got
so
you.
it really just depends.
Okay.
Supply and demand.
Now Kanye West
Yep.
dropping the price of all his stuff
Yeah.
to $20. How is that impacting you? Is it decreasing the market participation or the market want for Yeezys, or like how is that playing out?
No, actually, I feel like over time the price on especially older Yeezys is just going to go up again. Like I remember when slides were going for below retail, like people were trying to get slides for, you know, maybe $70, but now when you think about it, they stopped production. Like Adidas
That's true.
and
Yep.
Yeezy kind of stopped production. They're not making any more. So when people come in the store and I have Yeezys, I was like, you guys got to think about it. In, 6 months to a year, maybe even 2 years, it's going to be practically impossible to find brand new Yeezys. So all these brand new Yeezys, the market's going to go up if you still have a brand new pair. Now, pre-owned pairs, those are different. You know what I mean? Because the pre-owned market, it fluctuates, based on the market and everything. But
Okay. And you guys get a lot of your shoes shipped to you.
I do sometimes, yeah.
How is the tariffs with y'all right now?
Okay, so I haven't really noticed the tariffs personally, but I know like other, resellers, sneaker store owners, wholesalers around the country that have definitely been affected just by getting shipments in and stuff like that. But I personally haven't been affected yet.
Okay. Knock on anything, this
right?
white table. Yeah, knock on anything.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious. Biggest financial win. Like, what's the most money that you've ever made off of selling a shoe?
Off of one shoe?
Off of one shoe.
Oh my gosh.
She don't want to say it. She don't want to say it, y'all.
I'm trying to think because I've done like so many sneaker deals.
You've been in the game for a minute.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think like I feel like one that like just really sticks out to me. I don't know if that's my biggest win.
Okay.
But I just remember this. It was like very prevalent. I remember this was before I even had the store too. Drove down to the 757 because we saw, like on Facebook Marketplace, I found some Travis Scott 4s brand new in my size. Size 8 in men's, 9.5 in women's. I found a pair for $200. And so at first I was like, there's no way that's real. So I was like, but the pictures, like I was like, they looked real, right? So I was like, let me just drive down and see. So I drove all the way to Norfolk, met this guy at a Wawa, and they looked real. And then, they have like authentication apps as well. So I sent it into an authentication app and it came back as real. And I remember I was like, what? So I bought them for $200 and I wanted to rock them so bad. Rick was like, they're brand new.
We gotta sell them.
We sold them for like $1,200 next day.
What?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh my god!
I got a little pick in them. It's crazy. I got one pick, but I was like, don't touch the floor.
You can't even crease them.
I said, take them off.
But those are some hot drops though. Like anything that Travis Scott does, even when he collaborated with McDonald's, I feel like resellers have the team shirts in their stores. You know what pair I wanted so bad, but now they're like $10,000.
Which one?
It was the ones in the Virgil drop. The blue and white one, the off-white.
Yeah. They're redropping that one this year.
For real? I didn't know that.
All-white pair.
See, I want the blue and white ones.
Oh, you want the UNC?
Yeah, that's what it's called. Okay.
Yeah, the UNC off-white ones. Those are clean.
And they like $10,000. They sell them for $10,000.
Yeah, they go for a pretty penny. But that's not even, you know, when I go to sneaker events, I see shoes going for $50,000. Crazy prices. You know what I mean?
$50,000?
Yeah.
Okay, like you talking about, like, if I think about paying $50,000 for a shoe, it's gonna have to be that Louis Vuitton and
okay, that's the one you're thinking of.
Air Force One. That's the one because it's a luxury brand.
Okay.
Or like the Tiffany with Air Force One.
Okay.
Which ones have you seen go for $50K?
I would say SBs sometimes go for crazy prices. SBs, especially the Freddy Kruegers. That's the one I've seen.
I heard that the Nike like stopped making them for some reason, or they got like a cease and desist or something.
It was I forgot the exact story of it, but they made a limited amount of pairs, and then something happened. I think they tried to like burn them all or something like that. I forgot the exact story.
Okay.
And then there were only a couple pairs that like some of the workers took.
I got you.
And so there's like a very limited amount on the market.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember going to a sneaker con one time and them saying, I was like, how much is that? Like, I remember it was like my first time seeing a Freddy Krueger in person. They were like, I'm selling mine for $50,000. I said, good for you, man. It was like, it said, not me. But good for you. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but collectors, you know what I mean? There's so many collectors out here that really just, they won't even want to wear something like that. Like $50,000.
Just put them in a box.
Yup, just keep it in the closet just to have.
And how you feel about that? Like people not wearing their shoes, like just buying them just to.
I mean, you know, I always respect a collector for sure, but I'm always an advocate on wear your shoes.
Yeah.
I always say wear your shoes, especially if later on down the line too you want to sell them. Like after like, you know, a shoe is 10 years old, the probability of after you wear it one time, it could crush right underneath your feet. It could just, the sole could separate just that easily. But if you wear your shoes like once or twice, it's going to prevent that.
Okay. All right. Let's get into a little bit about young Yas and what your first relationship with money was.
My first relationship with money? I feel like I have to take it all the way back to my parents, honestly, because my parents were immigrants. So my dad was born overseas. My mom was born in Switzerland. My dad was born in Egypt. And so my dad, when he came over here, he was 25 years old. He got a college degree from Cairo University in Egypt. Oh, wow. When he came over here, it was like agricultural engineering. He really had like $25 in his pocket when he came over here. And so he started as like a bus boy and then worked his way up to, you know, be a server, stuff like that. And then my mom, on the other hand, she went to college here at Howard. So when she came over here, her parents were like very well educated, went to UPenn, everything like that. Wow. So when my mom and my dad met, my mom was she worked in like clinical laboratories and stuff like that. My dad then, while she was doing that, went to school, and now he's in IT, works for the government. So when I was born, you know, I was, you know, very blessed to be born into a family that, you know, we were upper middle class at the time because of the foundation that my parents, you know, put in, because they didn't really come from anything beforehand. Like even my mom's parents, they went to UPenn, they, you know, they were born in Egypt. They were immigrants coming over here as well. So it's just, it's crazy to see, you know, that even going to visit $25 and then going back to Egypt and going to see like where my dad's from, it's like very much like a, you know, a third world country. Like there's people that, you know, are filthy rich and then there's dirt poor. So you got to see the difference when I was like in the country. So my first introduction to money was, you know, really going overseas to see where my dad grew up, and then where he is now in Egypt, like owning land and stuff like that, like where he was able to take it. Him and his friends, they all kind of like grew up in like a village in like the slums of Egypt. And so now when you go and see, like now they own, you know, my uncle owns like a resort now in Egypt. So it's like, it's crazy to think like you can really start from nothing and go to something great.
Yeah.
So I feel like my first introduction to money definitely came from my family, both sides of my family. Like, they were very hardworking. They focused on education. Both my parents have a master's. My dad has a PhD. Same thing with my grandparents. So I always valued education, always valued, you know, setting up your family for success, generational wealth. So definitely my parents.
Okay. And you seem like the entrepreneur in the family. Are there any other entrepreneurs? Well,
So
your
my
uncle
dad's-
says he has the resort in Egypt, but
Yeah. So like they own like land and stuff over there now.
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so I would love to like start owning land. That's different. Like the way they're doing it is completely different.
Your parents own land in Egypt.
Yeah, too.
What?
Yeah, so they're, you know,
So are they making money off of the land, or are they just kind of holding on to it? Okay.
right now and stuff like that.
Is it like like residential properties, or it's just like
Some is just land and
just
some
land.
is like residential properties.
wow? So they have tenants?
Some, yeah.
Wow.
So it's just like learning from them too.
Yeah.
My dad has his own business, so he's a consultant for the State Department and stuff like that, all
Oh,
that
wow.
IT kind of stuff. And so he is a teacher. Like, he teaches people about IT, coding, stuff like that. So he has his own business when it comes to that. So he
Okay.
kind of taught me, you know, like, make sure you get your accountant, make sure you have this in order, that in order, and stuff like that. So definitely, my parents were definitely very helpful with that.
Okay. Okay, I have so many questions because this is just, it's very interesting. Did you go to college?
I did,
Okay.
yes. I actually went to VCU.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, we're right on campus. It's
Right.
crazy.
Me
That's why
too.
I was like, "This. You went to VCU?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Mhm.
crazy.
I got
Yeah.
my nursing degree there. I got my associates in nursing from J. Sergeant Reynolds in 2017.
Okay.
And then I did the program VCU. I worked at VCU as a nurse, and then after you work there for a year, they just pay for you to go to school.
Oh, wow,
So they
okay.
ended up paying for I got a free bachelor's.
Oh, wow.
From VCU in 2019, I believe. So
Okay.
bachelor's in nursing. So yeah, we both alumni.
Yes, we
Yeah.
must have crossed paths. I graduated in 2018 with
Okay.
a major in finance and minor in math.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I originally started biomedical engineering pre-med. I thought I was going to be a doctor
Oh, okay.
and do all that. But I was like, after about a semester and a half, I was like, get me out of here. I need to go to the business school.
But even the mindset to go to business school,
Yeah.
is that something that your parents instilled in you at that time, or were they like,
No.
we need you to be a doctor?
Yeah,
No.
my parents were really encouraging me to pursue a career in engineering, to potentially be a doctor, and then set this kind of like goal in my mind that like doctor, and you're gonna get your PhD, and you're gonna do this that with engineering with it.
Oh, they had it all mapped out.
I was like, yeah, that sounds good
for somebody.
right? I said, look, I'll go with the flow. And then
Yeah.
like after the first semester, I was like, biology is hard. Like,
Yeah.
this is not my cup of tea. Like, I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. And at first, like, there was definitely some pushback. Like, my parents are like Middle Eastern and stuff.
Yeah.
So they were like, what do you mean you're not going to be a doctor? You're not going to be an engineer anymore? I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to business school. My dad was like, what are you going to do with business in business school? I was like, Dad, come on, But over time, they definitely came around because I feel like they just noticed that I was just like very business minded. Like,
Yeah.
I did like different clubs like in high school and in college, like FBLA, and then PBLs, like Future Business Leaders
Oh,
of
wow.
America and
Okay.
stuff. And then I did the collegiate version as well. I was like a state officer for that. I went to like nationals for like different things like cover letter writing and like resume writing, job interviews, stuff like that. So I used to actually help write people's resumes in college for extra money and
Ooh.
stuff. Yeah, cover letter writing, all that.
You always know how to get to the bag.
Yeah, look, anything I gotta do, if you paying, look, I'm
We can figure it
providing.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a hustler for sure.
That's interesting. Okay. Okay, so we switch our majors, and then we're graduating in 2018.
Yeah.
When do we meet Tariq?
we don't meet Tariq until about a year and a half after I graduate.
Okay.
So after I graduated, I was on this fast track for Target. So like the store, like Target Corporation. So I was an intern the summer before I graduated. And then once I graduated, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm going to work my way up. I'm going to go work at corporate and I'm going to be the CFO of Target one day. Like I was just, you know what I mean? Like that was my goal. And so they were like, hey, well, you got to start at a store. You can't just start out in corporate. So I was like, cool. So I became a general manager of a Target.
Okay.
And I lasted about a year. I lasted one Christmas and I was like,
wait, what about it? Like, was it the retail, the customers?
Oh my gosh,
complaints.
I think it's just so much. Like, I feel like they like just threw me in. I had like 250 people that I was like looking after at my Target, and it was like my first year. It was just so much, like a whole Christmas season.
Yeah,
it was just like Black Friday. It was just so much. I was like, yo, the stress behind this. I'm not getting any sleep. I was there like 16, 18-hour days, and the pay wasn't reflecting that, in my opinion. It was salary based. So after, you know,
what was the salary?
The salary, I mean, it was nice. It was like 70.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, for you to not, because you hadn't graduated.
I did graduate.
Oh, you
had, okay. Was like right after I graduated.
Okay, so
that's when I became the GM. But like once I was doing that, it was just too much. I didn't get any sleep. I was there like 7 days a week, 16 to 18-hour days, and I was just like, yeah, it's not worth it. I have no work-life balance. So I remember I quit in January, like it was the first quarter, and then I started working sales at a financial services firm. So I was like, I could sell anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I worked there.
So you were selling like life insurance?
I was selling financial services to like auto repair shops, and like I would have to contact like all these auto repair shops, and
so you were like cold calling
auto repair shops and convincing them to go with us, to put us in their thing, and then we got paid off of if somebody actually did the application.
Can we like role play this real quick?
Oh my god, this was like 6 years. When you think about it, it was literally like 2018, 2019. But I could try. I literally don't even remember what I used to say, but I would just.
All right, let's do it real quick. I'm gonna be an easy sale. All right, you ringing the phone. Hello, this is Brianna's Auto Repair Shop. How may I help you?
Hey, how's it going today?
Good. Who is this?
Hey, this is Yasmine from West Creek Financial. You got a moment of your time?
I got about 2 minutes.
Okay, cool. How would you like to be able to save your customers money every time they come in your store? That's how I would start. Something like that. Something along those lines. You always got to start out with like a positive. Like the answer can't be no. It's like, no, I don't want, you know, it always has to be a positive response. You have to like word your questions. Like even I do that now in the store. Yeah. I was like, if somebody's trying on a shoe, is like, that fit good, that doesn't it? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, does it fit? And you're giving them the opportunity to say no. But if you word it in a way like, y'all ready to check out? You want to get that?
Okay.
People don't want to be like, no, like I'll come back. People are like, yeah, sure, man. If it's good, you know what I mean.
You did that. I want to save my customers money. Yeah. I'd
be like, awesome, boom, you know. And then I get
and
into
then you
I can't remember everything.
No, that's cool. It's cool. Yeah. I thought, wow, okay. All right. Well, I want to get into the,
but yeah, and then right afterwards, I remember I met Tariq, and then I was switching into another role. Like I was like, the company I was with, I was like, I'm gonna try a different company, and I tried selling solar. And this was literally like, I did this for 1 month, and then COVID hit. So I met Tariq the end of December 2019, and so we met like on a whim, like at a bar in Richmond.
Okay.
The old D5, now Skybox.
Shout out to Skybox.
Shout out Skybox.
Making dreams and couples come together.
Oh my gosh. It's yeah.
So how he approach you?
I remember back in the day at D5, it was bucket night and I was a little lit. And I remember I was so lit that I was working the door. I don't know how. It was jumping. I was just cool with the security.
You was working the door.
I was cool with security. I was drunk. I was I'm checking IDs. I don't know what I was doing. And I grabbed his friend's ID, and I, was trying to be funny. And I was like, oh, yeah, this one seems fake.
Yeah.
They looked older, right? So it's like, whatever. Then I found out his friend was 20.
Oh.
And then it was really like, they were like, yo, like, she's trying to out you. And I was like, oh, I said, my bad. And then I remember I was like, I barely remember the night after that, but I remember getting his friend's number at the time. So I barely talked to Tariq that night. I just remember he was just
so you wanted the friend.
I wanted the friend. That's what's so crazy. And then I remember a couple weeks later, the friend randomly called me. It was Christmas Eve, and I remember I was in Richmond for some reason. I wasn't with my family. I don't remember why. Okay. But I remember I got a FaceTime from him. He was like, oh, like, yeah, I work at this hotel. All the managers are gone. We got pizza. We got free drinks. We got, So I was like, cool, that's where I'm at. So I was like, okay, cool. And then Tariq takes the phone. Yeah, like, you got to pull up. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to pull up. So I pull up, and I remember the guy met me outside. We were walking through the lobby, and then Tariq walks up to me and was like, hey, I'm Tariq. I was like, oh, hey, I'm Yasmine. He was like, oh, I know. Like, I just want to let you know one day you're going to be my wife.
Oh.
I was like,
oh.
Bold.
Yeah.
Bold, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, looking at his friend, I was like, dang, I came with him. That was like so awkward.
Yeah.
And then me and Tariq after that were like attached at the hip.
He got the number 2. You ended up connecting with him.
Yeah. So like his friend ended up being like a weirdo that night. Like, yeah, we ended up watching Lion King, started crying, was doing all this stuff.
What?
Yeah, it was like a whole thing. So I was like, oh, I gotta drop him. He's a weirdo.
Wait.
He's a weirdo. I couldn't. Oh no!
It was the Mufasa. It was the scene where he was about to drop.
Yeah, but like imagine, right? Like this is the beginning of the movie.
For me.
Set the scene because we are hanging, right? And it's like 5 minutes into the movie. We chilling. Got like a couple of snacks, like a little slice of pizza, and then he started bawling. I was like, yo, like, he's like, excuse me one moment. He go in the bathroom, start bawling, crying. I was like, oh my gosh. How do I get out of here?
Did you try to like console him?
I mean, I was
like, it's okay.
I said, it's good. Like, in the world. Like, what is going on right now? I just didn't know. And then I heard like knock, knock, knock on the door. And some random guy I've never seen was like, Tariq was like, oh, meet us on the rooftop.
Okay, hey, like, I'm going over there. Like, he's in the bathroom crying.
I dipped on him. I went to the rooftop. And they were like, oh, we going to a party tonight? I was like, cool. Invited me to the party, and then we were attached at the hip.
Oh, man.
And then I think we were hanging out for like a month and a half. Then COVID hit.
Okay.
And then we both lost our jobs during COVID. And so we were like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do?
You had a job?
Yeah, I was selling solar.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah, it was like a month and a half.
So you've always been doing the sales.
Yeah.
Sales.
Just because I really didn't even want to do that. I was just really trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life.
But you were comfortable working off of commission.
For that moment I was. I feel like I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do long term. I knew I was like meant for more than just like selling solar, selling financial services.
Yeah.
I always knew I wanted to own a business. I just didn't know the vehicle that I wanted.
But they say the people who actually are successful in business have started in sales.
Yeah.
In sales scare me. Like,
really?
Like cold calling people on the phone or door knocking. Like I'm outgoing to a fault.
Yeah.
But like that's just like getting told no so many times. And
I'm good with rejection.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's definitely one of my strengths for sure. Like if I get rejected, I'm like, on the next. You know what I mean? I got like 1,000 other people I gotta call anyways. So you're taking up my time. I gotta go.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
but, yeah, we both lost our jobs during COVID, and then I remember Tariq and I, we were like I was like, okay, well, I saw he started getting unemployment. I was like, how is he getting that? You know what I mean? And then I started looking into renter's assistance, so I started getting renter's assistance. And then I saw he bought some, what was it, like some Court Purple ones and some Cinder Yeezy 350s. He bought them each for retail at the time, and then flipped them the very next day on eBay for like $100 profit. And I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, teach me what you're doing. Like
$100 profit each
shoe.
Wow.
So it's like you bought it for $200, he sold it for $300 the next day.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, teach me what you're doing. And then he was like, oh, like I used to sell shoes back in the day, and I really didn't know much about shoes. So I was like, okay, well, you know, teach me. I couldn't even tell you the difference between a Concord 11 and a, you know, a Chicago 1 at the time. So I was like, you got to teach me. Like, I don't really know, but, you know, if you're making that kind of money, I need in.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, and I started, you know, watching the way he was flipping, and I was like, why would you sell a shoe? Like, he would buy like a shoe for $70 and then flip it for $140. And then I was like, okay, like that's good, but why wouldn't you sell it for $240? Because that's what the shoe's going for. And then I was like, you're not like maximizing your profits. So this was during COVID. So we started, basically I used to help him just like look for shoes. We would be like on OfferUp, we would be on Facebook Marketplace, Let Go, eBay looking for shoes. People would DM us on Instagram. No, not so much Poshmark. I feel like that's more like for clothes for sure. Yeah. But it would be like a lot of like local things. Then we would drive down to the 757 at the time, since it was COVID, everything was shut down. And Tariq used to work at the hotel. He still had the friends and family the employee discount.
Nice.
So during COVID, it was already so cheap. So we were getting hotels like the Hilton Oceanfront was like $30.
What?
Yeah, so we was down there having a ball. You know what I mean? $30 a night with the rooftop pool, and there was nobody out there. Everyone, you know, had COVID or whatever.
That's amazing.
Not COVID, but you know, everyone, people had COVID. And stuff.
Yeah.
And so we would just be driving all over the 757, picking up shoes all day, bring it back to Richmond, and like at the time we would have no more than like 6 shoes in our possession, and I would, you know, take it inside. Tariq would clean all the shoes. And then we had like this whiteboard, and we would write the name of the shoe, what we got the shoe for, what we want to sell it for, and stuff like that. And we would have like
I saw the whiteboard.
Yeah, the whiteboard.
On one of y'all's stories.
Yeah, and it was like his side and my side. We would pick like, you know, we have 6 shoes. He picks 3 shoes. I pick 3 shoes. Which 3's going to sell first?
Wow.
It would just be like a little competition. But, you know, I feel like over time, we just got so much better. I would take like all the pictures for our Instagram. I would post everything on all platforms. I would post it on Instagram, Facebook, everything like that. And then people would hit me up and then basically just ask me. People would just like, you know, is this still available? And so at the time, when you talk about negotiations, at the time I was like, you know, asking Tariq. Tariq's the one who really taught me how to negotiate to buy and sell shoes. I had like, you know, basic negotiation skills beforehand, but he was the one that definitely taught me how to negotiate when it came to the sneaker game. So yeah, shout out to Tariq.
Shout out to Tariq
Because he's been flipping shoes since he was like 15 years old.
Wow.
You know, but he was in and out of the game throughout that time and stuff like that. I feel like we really took Stvrs Kicks seriously when we both like came together and created the Instagram. Yeah, which was
interesting because you said you taught him how to, or you saw that he wasn't maximizing his profits.
Right.
But then you say he taught you how to negotiate. Yeah. So do you feel like now looking back that he was maximizing them, or do you feel like you kind of helped get a little more profit?
No, I feel like Tariq had this theory at the time that he just wanted to double his money.
Got you. Yeah. Okay.
So like he bought something for $70, he wanted $140 and not a penny more, and he was cool with it.
I got you.
Until he would say he's cool with it until a reseller in the area would buy it for $140 and sell it on their Instagram page for $240, and he was like, oh, I don't like when he buys it. I was like, bro, why don't you just sell it for $240, bro? Like, what do you, like, cut out the middleman.
Right.
Basically, over time, like, we got to that point and stuff. And I feel like we were flipping shoes, traveling for shoes for about 1.5 years. And then Tariq was walking by one day. My apartment at the time was like right near where the store was. He was just walking by, and it said like, for rent, call this number. And I was like, it was like real small, and it looked like there was like a big tree in the middle of the store, and that's all there was. And if you like looked, I have like a picture, and I was just like, that's so random. And they were like, oh, it's an art gallery, but I guess it's supposed to be symbolism. It was supposed to be symbolism or something. It was the only thing in the art gallery was a tree. I was like, okay, I get, cool. Like, it was a beautiful space. And so we called, and it was our landlords now. They own the clay gallery shop right next door. Shout out Mark and Susan.
Shout out Mark and Susan.
No, really shout out Mark and Susan, because they did not have to do this. They really set us up for success, because the space that we have now, they gave it to us for a fifth of what it's probably worth, honestly.
Really?
They just wanted, there's so many businesses in Chaco at that time during COVID that shut down, and then people trying to rent out these spaces that were just fronts and never actually opened. And so that was like a major issue in the Chaco Bottom area during that COVID time. That, like, all these spaces were taken, but nothing was opening. And so Mark and Susan were like, we really just want somebody to come in here that's actually going to open and actually bring something to the community. And so they gave it to us for... a fraction what it should have been. And, we've been there now 3.5 years. And because we did a 3-year lease, and we just re-signed for another 3 years. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whew.
I know I just gave you a lot right there.
No, listen, the store, I've been in there before. I didn't even know who owned it when I went in there, but it gives like, it feels like Apple / Hypebeast vibe. Because, Apple looks like an art gallery. Yeah. But they sell phones. Mm-hmm. But your store is very clean. The stores are, the floors are like wood. Mm-hmm. So, like, you walk in and it feels homey. And then you have, like, the Supreme stuff. And then you have, like, the wall of white flags, which is like just super nostalgic. Yeah. And you have like the green couch, and you have the grass wall that is like very like, it feels exclusive in there. You guys did great building it out.
Thank you.
So like to know the story of how you got it and how everything kind of aligned with the price, and the location.
Yeah. The location was it was prime real estate, for sure.
Exactly.
Prime real estate in Richmond, especially in Chaco. And I love Chaco. Like, Chaco's home for me. So,
like, that's a walk-in destination. Like, anybody who's just visiting Richmond and just, like, hanging out downtown. Oh, what's this? That, like, you just get that type of traffic. That, like, non-solicited traffic. Mm-hmm. Okay. Invest in inventory or marketing? I feel like you market the store very well.
Yeah. So when you say invest in it, you mean investing in marketing?
Investing in inventory, like in shoes.
Yeah.
Or marketing.
Or investing in marketing.
Or investing in marketing, yeah.
I would say investing in shoes.
Okay.
Personally.
And that seems tailored to what you do too, because you gotta have.
I gotta have money
to marketing if you don't have shoes.
Yeah, if I don't have any shoes on my wall, you know what I mean. Or if I don't have like the hottest drop that everyone wants in the moment, all the marketing is cool, but it's like people want the product. I do market a lot though, so that is but I would still say investing in like reinvesting in inventory, because it's like you could have like an amazing Saturday. You're like, oh, like we had a great Saturday, and then we're like, dang, we got to reinvest all of that. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So,
do you invest in marketing at all, or you just post on social media? Like, how do people find out about y'all? Like, are y'all buying ads or?
Not really. Like, sometimes, like, we're doing like a free giveaway right now for some white cement floors for when they drop. Yeah. So, like, I put some money into an ad on Instagram about that. Yeah. But other than that, I really don't like pay for marketing all that much. I have like a not a financial advisor, a business advisor that helps with our website, help create our logo, everything like that. I have like business cards, stickers, stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that like I invest in, but really everything is like
word of mouth,
TikTok, word of mouth, stuff like that. Going to sneaker events.
And then I see y'all doing like the giveaways and stuff too. And right now y'all are doing, I don't know if y'all still doing it, but the report cards, y'all are giving like $140 off for the kids who have all A's on their report cards, or like every A is worth a certain amount of money.
Yeah, every A is $20 off a shoe. Every B is $5 off, but if you have a C, D, or F, it cancels out anything.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So y'all are giving back to the community too, because you're not making money.
Oh my
off
gosh.
of that.
Me and Tariq were like, yeah, this is gonna be a great idea, you know what I mean? Like, I always, like, when I have kids one day, I know that, like, you know, my parents were like a little strict. Like, they were like, the expectation is all A's, and you know, if you got a B or 2, that's cool, but like C's, D's, or F's, if you got a C, D, or F, the phone's getting taken away, you're not doing any sports, you're not doing anything, you're not gonna be out this weekend. So it was like, that was the expectation. So it's like, I'm not gonna like celebrate if somebody has a C on their report card or anything like that. And that's just like how I was raised. So it's like really celebrating like people that really are getting those straight A's, a couple B's and stuff like that. So that's what we should be striving for. Like, if you want to go to these like top tier like universities and stuff like that, like that's what we need to be striving for and pushing for in our community.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Biggest financial regret?
Oh, man. Here we go.
You need some wine? You need some more wine?
Yep. We're going to need to after this one. Oh, man. Oh, wait. Is that one?
This one got you good.
That one's me?
Yeah, that's you.
That's me.
You take a
Let
sip.
me take a little sip. I'll never forget it, man.
Uh-oh.
Me and Tariq still talk about it to this day.
It be like that.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. So 1 month into us opening, there was this guy that came in. Tariq was like, oh yeah, like I know this guy, like he went to like a different high school than me, but like I've known him since we were young, you know what I mean? He's always had money. So I was like, oh cool. So it was like him, his best friend, and his girl. And he was like, yeah, I'm about to go. He was like, yo, he's always traveling. He's like, he goes to Dubai, he goes here, there. I was like, oh cool, like so he has money.
Did his name start with a J?
No.
Okay, all right. I'm about to say, I know. Okay, go ahead.
And I was like, cool. So it was my first time meeting him. I was like, this is going to be awesome. And he was just like, look, we want to buy all new outfits for when we go to Dubai. I'm taking my girl to the Maldives for a week after that. I was like, oh, bet. So he's like, yeah, I'm buying for me, my girl, and my boy. So I was like, cool. This is the first time. So you got to think, I don't really have experience with scamming. I don't have experience with checking IDs, anything like that. So me, you know, he's picking out shoes. He probably picked out, he picked out $8,600 worth of inventory. And me and Tariq were just like, yo, like, we're coming up. Like, you know, we just opened the store, about to come up 8 hands. Like, he's paying everything full price. And then at the time, I didn't understand, like, tapping. You know what I mean? Like, we have different credit cards. Yeah, he was like, oh, I have, like, different credit cards. And, like, can I put, like, different, like, amounts, like, on different ones? And I was like, yeah, I don't care. Because at the time, I didn't, you know, think anything of it.
Yeah.
So he's like, boom, like 700 on this one, 1,000 on this one, 300, da 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 da. And I was like, okay, well, they all went through. We're good. So he left. Then I think it was like 2 days later, boom, chargeback for $700. Next day, $1,000. 300, 500. It slowly started coming back. It was all different people's credit cards. And people were calling their banks, talking about, oh, I didn't authorize this payment at this random shoe store. And then at the time we didn't make customer profiles, we didn't check IDs, stuff like that. And so when I had to report all these chargebacks, bless you, I had to report all these chargebacks, I was like freaking out. I was trying to, you know, explain. I was like, no, this guy came in, I have like footage, I like sent in video footage, and they were like, that's not good enough. Do you have the guy's name? Do you have this, that, and basically denied all of our claims, and we were out $8,600 worth of inventory. So it's like, imagine you bought the inventory and then you just gave away free shoes essentially, and then people on the other hand want their money back. It was like a double hit.
Y'all had to give the credit card companies the money back?
We had to give the people their actual credit with the credit cards, their actual money back.
Oh wow, yeah.
The chargebacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was
What?
just, I remember like within like a first month of being
That's
open,
crazy.
It almost put us out of business. Because we were just like, yo, what are we gonna do? Like,
yeah,
we just,
8,600.
yeah, but we figured it out. We did some quick flips in the store.
Okay.
So we took like almost all our inventory that we had, and we were trying to make, a certain amount of profit. And it was like, cut the profit, cut it. There's a big sale going on. We were trying to just quick flip, buy more stuff, quick flip. Well, yeah, and we had to do that we were doing that for probably like 8 months trying to catch up. Yeah.
It took y'all 8 months
because we were so new, and I was.
And then y'all had rent, electricity, water.
Yeah, we had multiple rents.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, we still had 2 rents because me and Tariq, we're not together anymore. We're just business partners now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the time, we just had 2 rents. We had the store rent and our house rent. So, but now it's like he has his place, I have my place, and we got the store rent. So it's like we always talk about like, imagine we got 2 cars. It's,
oh my god,
it was so much. But yeah, that was the biggest.
And y'all never found that man?
Nope, I never seen him again. I was like, Trick, what's his name? He was like, that's bruh, like that's the guy that we seeing. I was like, what does that mean? What do you mean, bruh, from like up the street? Like, what do you mean? Yeah, and I've never seen him again. There's certain moments throughout that, like, if I ever saw him again, I'd be like, that's him.
That's him, right.
Yeah, there's certain things that happened, I guess, throughout our sneaker career where I was like, I'll never forget that person. If I ever saw them again, I'll never forget them.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it took me 8 months to recover from this shit show that you caused.
Yeah.
And then
it's a black-owned business in the city. Yeah. And it's like, it's not like you going to Target and doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Stuff like that really irritates my soul because you work so hard.
Yeah.
Like, y'all traveling up and down the country. Like, y'all are using your resources, leveraging hotels and things like that. But at the end of the day, y'all pounding the pavement. Y'all doing it the right way. Y'all not selling drugs. Like, y'all not doing anything illegal. Like, you opened a business and all of these things are aligning for you, and then you got one person to come in and literally steps you back 8 months. Like, that's wild. Let me get into a little bit of hot topic questions.
Okay.
Now I want to know why y'all broke up. Because
that's what everybody wants to know.
And also, I want to get to a few different things in 10 minutes because you done had Trey Songz pop by. I seen you to give some shoes to Glorilla. I saw Ray Shrimmer come in there. Not Slim Jimmy, the other guy. What's his name? The other one.
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy came in. Man, you done had some Big X to plug. I saw you pull up on him. How you getting to these people? They reach out to you?
So when Sway Lee came, when Sway Lee came, I remember I was in bed. So that night, so we do live auctioning online. So all our shoes start at $1. We do that twice a week, every Sunday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. on the Whatnot app. Shameless plug. Cute.
Shout out to the Whatnot app.
Yes. So I remember I wasn't going to be on that night's show. I remember I just worked like 3 days in a row, like 12 to 10. I was like, I'm exhausted. I'm not doing the show tonight. Y'all can handle it. They were like, okay, cool. So it's 7:30. The show starts at 8. I'm getting a call from Tariq. Blowing my line. I'm half asleep. I'm like, hello? Like, I'm just trying to get some sleep. I was like, what's up? Get over here right now. Like, I just got a call, like a random call from like Sway Lee's manager, and he's in town and he needs some shoes. I don't know who gave him our number, but he's coming to the store right now. I was like, Sway Lee's coming. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
And I go over to the store, and then like 10 minutes into our Whatnot show, he walks in, and I was like, what? Like, it was just that was like super random. Like I wasn't, expecting that. It was just really random. Like we didn't really have to do anything. They hit us up. So I was like, okay.
And he bought some shoes. He got.
Yeah, he bought like probably like $4,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it was love for sure. And we've been in like communication still and stuff. So cool people for sure. When it came to like Bossman, D-Lo, and like Glorilla, shout out to my people over at Froze, Cashley and Chef.
Shout out.
So Cashley's like one of my best friends, and so they were catering for Bossman and Glow back for VSU homecoming.
Oh, nice.
I think that was. And they were like, oh, like, do you want to come backstage with us and just like help us with some of the food, and maybe you can like bring them some shoes? And I was like,
yeah, for sure.
Shoes. So boom, this was my second time I think meeting Boss Man, because on my birthday they also catered for him somewhere down in the 757, and we ended up meeting him there. So when we saw him again, like he recognized us and stuff. And I remember the first time I saw him, he was wearing some crushed Black Forces. I was like, and I was like, yo, like, so I told him when I first met him, I was like, yeah, I own a sneaker store, and I looked down at his shoes, but I stared like a second too long because they were crushed. Like, and he was like, nah, like, cause I ain't get to go like buying shoes. Like, he's trying to like cover his shoes and stuff like that. Like, I was like, oh, you good, bro? So then the next time I came, I brought him some like Black Supreme flays. I was like, yeah, bro, because I remember last time, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was cool. And then Glow, I think it was just like right place, right time and stuff like that. And then she came by and everything was it was cool.
That's what's up. You had some heavy hitters in there, for real.
Appreciate you.
And then with the dynamic with you and Tariq, because dating your business partner is always gets a little tricky. Yeah. But y'all still got the same thing going, even though y'all not together. How has that been? Tough?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I think that like working and being like around your ex is definitely it's hard. I feel like we just like we're constantly like working like on our boundaries and stuff like that. I got you. Yeah. I think we broke up now. It's been like almost a year and a half, almost 2 years now. Okay. Yeah, we were engaged at the time, so it was like a lot to like break everything.
Yeah, because he said he was gonna marry you.
Yeah.
When y'all first met.
Yup. Yeah, we didn't quite get there, but everything happens for a reason.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. One more thing I want to get to. Your role as CFO. Yes. Do you feel like you are excelling at that? It seems like you are. Like, it seems like you kind of got your systems in place with the auctioning, and then the different apps that y'all use. The supply seems like y'all getting the shipments in. Y'all got the customers with not a lot of marketing, like killing it right now. Because I always said CFO, over chief financial officer, but you're really the chief everything when you're CFO. So how's that been going for you?
I think it's going really well. I feel like there's definitely like areas of opportunity for sure. Especially, I think my biggest area of opportunity would probably be maybe finding like a new system that I can use for inventory management. Like we use like Shopify for our website, and then we transfer all of that over to our Square, which is like our POS system in the store. But I just I have like a spreadsheet that I make every month and stuff, but I just feel like there should be an easier way to keep track of all the inventory, especially because we're buy, sell, trade. So it's like everything that I'm doing right now is manual. I feel like there should be a way to automatically, when something automatically sells on the website, then it translates onto, this spreadsheet or this, app that we have that like, oh, it's sold, so I don't have to manually, okay, this sold, and now this is the profit, and then, oh, okay, this is the profit for the month. I feel like it should just automatically be doing it. So I feel like that's something like I'm really like looking for. Just like a system that automatically can do that. Because sometimes like I get behind on like finances, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm like 2 weeks behind. I gotta like catch up, and it's like,
have you tried QuickBooks?
I have. Like my accountant tried to get me into it, but I feel like because I do consignment for my employees, so like having that on there as well. And the main thing is like trades, like finding a system that can manage trades automatically, because like sometimes somebody will bring in 8 shoes to trade for 2 shoes and they want to put $50 on top. So it's like, how do you even, you know, other than manually doing it, how does the system do that? You know what I mean? So finding a system that actually can calculate now how much, based on what you got these 2 shoes for, and they put $50 on top and they're trading all of these. Now how much did I get all these shoes for? So It's like I manually calculate all of that stuff and like teach my employees to do that and stuff. But it's like for a system to do that would be pretty cool.
So you're just using a lot of third-party stuff to, you know, you just need something that's going to integrate everything.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so that's the biggest challenge right now.
I feel like right now that's really what I'm focused on, because we're looking to get like other stores and stuff like that, like a second location. But I'm saying before that though, I definitely have to find something to manage.
Congratulations. So the money is there.
Thank you.
The money is there. It's just
there,
integrating it, making it easier. But dang, congratulations.
Thank
about to open up a second location. That's what's up.
Appreciate you.
That's what's up. Well, yes, I would talk to you all day if I could.
Me too.
I would talk to you all day. But I want to thank you for coming on, sharing your story, your insights, the story behind Stvrs Kicks, your passion for sneakers, your strategic approach to finance, truly inspiring. I do have a little bit of an announcement too I want to get out before we get up out of here. My book is dropping. Investing While Black is coming soon. But again, thank you so much. Like I tell you, everybody who comes in here is divine. Nobody has been here that isn't supposed to be here. Your energy is radiant. I'm so proud of you. How old are you?
I'm 28.
God, when your birthday?
July 21st.
Oh my gosh, y'all.
Coming up. Almost Cancer season.
Yeah, I love cancers. Cancers are lit. My birthday was May 4th, so Taurus. Taurus season right now. You know what I'm saying? The bull.
Right.
But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Peace, blessings. Good night.
Bye.